is gone and hope is sure. Christ is mine forevermore.
You all are married, and you mentioned your wife. For those who are married or wish to be married, God willing, how would you wish you could love your wife better than you did when you were younger? Why did he hand the microphone to you?
Oh, he knows I got to answer. The last part again?
How do you wish you loved your wife better than you did?
I wish that I realized that she had needs. I think I went like 15, 20 years before realizing, wait, you want something from me? I mean, Harold was talking about that, a bad friend. I'm like, I thought you were here for me. That's why I asked you to marry me. I mean, fundamental, raw, stupid, sinful kind of thinking. And only recently, maybe last week, I realized, you actually want stuff. You need stuff. So I think that's a fundamental shift. I want to now try to serve her. Big difference. Big difference.
I realized that my wife needs friends just like I need friends. As a pastor's wife, for years I was a pastor, she has the unenviable job position to bear a lot of my burdens. So I come home from session meetings, I come home from problems, from counseling sessions, and I just dump all over her. And so wives often become a toxic waste dump. They have to process all that we're going through, support us, love us. Who do they turn to? They can't turn to any other women in the church. Generally speaking, I'm speaking generally. They can't speak about that. Because then it's a pastor's wife is a gossip, right? So they have to sometimes find friends outside of the church context where they can be themselves, be safe, vent about me, right? And still be loved. And that's the thing about friendship, right? We're fully known, warts and all, train wreck and all. We're fully known, but yet fully loved by somebody. That's Jesus, first of all. But your wife will need somebody like that, or a group of people like that, for themselves. Because the pastor's wife is a very unique calling, a very challenging calling, so they need friends.
Before you, I would like actually each of you to respond to that. But before you go there, before we do so, they need friends. How can you help them to nurture and build relationships? How can you support that to make that a reality?
Yeah. Get them sitting.
I realized something. I asked my wife, like, who do you hang out? Because I'm always asking and thanking her for letting me go out every night. Now, why don't you go out? And I said, how come you don't have any friends? Like, you know what? I want you to go out. Who's your friend? She said, you're my friend. Wow. I didn't. It never dawned on me. Because she wants to spend time with me. So I know you had another question about how to cultivate that, but she actually likes to spend time with me and wants me to be home and spend time with her. Which for her it means talking and, talking. She has needs, and I now recognize she has needs, and I want to serve her. So I'm actually working on how to be a friend to my wife.
Wow. Just briefly, and then each of you, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, one of the greatest joys I've had over the last 25 years ago with many of the brothers here on the stage and others is that my wife has also become good friends with my friends' wives. Because we're so selfish, we spend a lot of time together. They end up actually coming along. At first, they didn't really like it because we just get all crazy and talk about the past. Like, well, we've already heard that story 10 times. But then they become friends. So that's been a natural kind of way in which they've built up. But then I go out of my way to help her.
That's good.
So who are you hanging out with this week? Where are you going to? And then I encourage that to even spend special weekends away with her girlfriends. And forcing her to do that. Because she's so faithful. She's like, no, I got to take care of this. You know what? Go. You have to go. It's good for your soul, which means happy wife, happy life, right? And so again, it's structured and spontaneous.
Lloyd, you want to go first? That's okay. Yeah.
Soon after we arrived in Cambodia, we had just left a great team. We were the only people in country at the time, and I was charging ahead. She was taking care of our kids, and she was really struggling. She was alone. She didn't have anyone to talk to, supporters. And one night she turned to me. She said, "Lloyd, this is so hard. I feel so alone. I just feel so alone." I said, "Maybe it's your faith." Don't do that. Yeah. So there are times in your life when you realize, oh, you wish you could take it back. She said, what? She started yelling. My wife never yells. What? So anyway, she said basically at the end, I just wanted you to tell me you love me and hug me. And then so I tried to hug you. No, too late. Too late. So just take that as maybe some words of advice.
Thanks for that, Lloyd. I mean, I have similar examples. So the question is, like Alex, figuring out the love language. What are the deepest needs of the heart? Or as Pastor Min has taught for many years before, CCEF, Idols of the Heart. I just think that is spectacular. So my wife's love language, which I had no clue about for I don't know how many years, is acts of service.
That's right.
What a joke. Acts like being handy and clean and doing domestic things. And she married me. I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, I'm a talker. And I grew up in a family with words of affirmation and encouragement. So I am so self-centric that I only want to give love to her in the way that I like to receive it. Right? So words of affirmation, encouragement, that makes me feel good. So that's all I did. So I told Sunny, I love you, I love you. I told her way too many times. She got so sick of it because the house would be dirty. And I wouldn't help her serve in any shape or form. And then she would just lovingly remind me, Harold, I used to think you were attractive. There was a time that I actually thought you might be handsome until you open your mouth. So, radical adjustment at home. You cannot preach her out of this, you can't talk her out of this, you can't fix this, you can't analyze this, you can't bring out your Westminster textbook and say, what do I do here? I need to stop, talk much less, and actually need to adjust the way that someone does for us to register and communicate love in a way that the recipient would understand it. Right? And then the whole thing about Brandon Brown, right? Empathy versus sympathy. Been there, done that. Way worse than what Lloyd shared. At least you're married, or at least you have a kid, or at least not empathetic. And so. Rejoice now, oh my soul, for His love is my reward. Fear is gone and hope is sure. Christ is my